welcome to the DK Pick'em Show. I got my buddy Ryan Daring Waring on the show.
Yep, happy to be here, man. First podcast ever with you, so this is exciting.
Yeah, this is dope. This is gonna be fun. I can't
Yeah.
wait.
Me too.
So, what we're gonna do is just kind of go game by game. This is a crazy week. I know it's week 12.
Yeah, we're in it,
We're
and
in
I'm
it.
out of it in our fantasy league.
Yeah.
I've never missed. I don't think I've missed the playoffs since year one in our league.
Yep, that's crazy, huh?
Buttermilk Crisp is usually always lit, but not this year,
Hey,
man.
it happens, man.
It's a weird year, man. It's a weird year.
Yeah. I have only a one path to the playoffs. And
When
that's Matt has to lose out, Mikey has to lose out, and Sabuda loses one, and I win out.
that's a lot of things to happen. But I'm pulling for you, man. I like the new Outsiders logo too.
Yeah, I just took the head from the
You made
other
it the
one.
white helmet, huh?
Yeah, well, when Zach left, I decided to take the white over because
Yeah.
I've always loved the white helmet look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool for a little. I mean, there's nothing more classic than the Niner gold, but it would be
Right.
kind of interesting to see a Niners helmet with the white instead of the gold.
Oh, like a white helmet? Yeah.
Yeah, but if you did that though, since the Niners have the gray face mask, which I think is classic, I think if you go white, you have to go back to the red face mask.
That's the one thing I don't like is the gray face mask.
You don't? I like it.
I
See,
know
I really like
it's
it.
classic to like
Yeah.
look back at the 80s and 90s.
I just like the look.
I love it, but okay, so if somebody wears the Niners like away jersey, somebody could be wearing the Giants away jersey and they're the exact same. Like you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. You know what I'm saying?
The Giants, I mean, I guess they are red.
The striping is red on the side. It's a little different, but
yeah,
I feel like there needs to be a little gold and black. That's why the like 90 was it like 96 to 2000.
Well, the 94, yeah, the 94 had a little bit of that white and black thing going on. That's what like with our throwbacks and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
But
I want to see some gold introduced. Yeah, more gold.
See the Niners, we have the black around the letters.
Yep.
Which the Giants just have all red, and then we also have those 3 bands on the sides as well. But yeah, somewhat.
I'm talking about the jersey.
Yeah, I'm talking about the jersey too.
The away jersey. Yeah, it is classic. It's one of my favorite looks.
I honestly like the away jersey. I like it.
That's
a lot.
my favorite look because the
94 away jersey is the best though.
Yeah, or they went all the way with that was a throwback.
No, you're right. The home jerseys, you're right. They don't have any, or the normal away jerseys don't have any black, like you were saying, like the 90s ones.
Those 90, the drop shadow. Yeah.
I think those are here to stay. I wish we would throw the black ones back in there because those were pretty dope.
Yeah. We originally started with silver and red, which is crazy. Those are the original colors.
Really?
Yeah.
What year?
46. All the way back in 46.
1946, huh?
The red and silver helmet.
Oh yeah. Those looked a whole lot different, man. Just like the gray jerseys with the white numbers. Okay. Anyways, yeah, if you want to dive into it.
Yep. So the next game is the Ravens at Pittsburgh, or is it Pittsburgh at Baltimore?
I think, Ravens at Steelers. So
Ravens at Steelers. That was supposed to be Thanksgiving. That's now Sunday.
Yeah.
Big game. Huge game. Who's gonna knock these guys off?
You wanna start this one off?
Yeah, I think Lamar Jackson's gonna come into this game and really throw the ball a lot. Pittsburgh doesn't really have a great pass defense. A lot of receivers have been going off against them as of late. They're pretty average. I really think that this is an upset. We're about to smell an upset, and I hate the game against New England. That was, I mean, if God were to rain down and say, "Here's one for you, Bill," that was the game. Like literally, they could not get the like those last couple plays. You couldn't even like move a couple feet without the rain stopping you from moving. Like
Yeah, it turned pretty ugly in that fourth quarter.
that was a total weather won the game for the Patriots.
Yeah.
I think I'm calling the upset. I like Baltimore. Like if you're gonna put money down, you put it on Baltimore to cover. And I think it's a close game. I think both defenses kind of suck right now. I got 35-27. Baltimore coming to Heinz Field and snagging a win.
Okay. Bold, bold. So yeah, after Thanksgiving, it looks like we're on opposite points here. Ravens are injured all over the field. They're
Yeah.
totally depleted. They're known for their running game, grind it out. John Harbaugh has really pressed the fact on having that identity on this team and running the ball. I think he just got. I mean, Dobbins is out, Ingram's out. So you just have Gus Edwards. He's
Yeah.
he's decent. He's not bad, but certainly not enough to dominate the run game. No real receivers out there. Marquise Hollywood Brown last year looked like he was going to be emerging. This year doesn't look so much. So pretty much you're just looking at Mark Andrews
That's
and
it.
whatever dink and dunk they can do. And then I think that it could go your way. Lamar could step up and shine, but it's not trending that way. And Lamar Jackson, teams have figured him out. His play has gotten substantially worse than last year. Looks like he's an exposed quarterback in my opinion. Exciting to watch. Like
Yeah.
if he's on, I'm definitely watching.
Yeah.
I just don't think that he's the quarterback that everyone thought he was going to be, especially following up an MVP season. And
Right.
that happens oftentimes with these running quarterbacks.
Yep.
And then finally we were blessed with one that could do both, in Patrick Mahomes. But as far as this game right here, Ravens, I don't see any benefits to their side. I really don't. I honestly put my money on the Steelers. It's a 4.5-point spread. They're at home. They have 4 emerging star wide receivers. I would say probably 3 emerging star wide receivers. And then you have James Washington that kind of comes in here and there. Juju got hurt last game. I don't know how serious that is, but regardless, you have Deontay Johnson, who's just been balling out lately.
Yeah.
And then that other the rookie,
Chase Claypool
Chase
from
Claypool,
Notre Dame,
who's dominating right now.
Right.
And it's just like pick your poison. The only thing really on the offensive side that's not going as well as they'd hope is the running game. So maybe they can get that going. But overall, I would counter the one main point that you did, or one of the main points that you made, was that they don't have a good defense and they actually have the league's best defense. And that's according to Pro Football Focus. They're overall number one
defense. Just pass. They have a great defense.
Overall, first in the NFL. Pass rush number 1, run defense number 4, and coverage is 7th in the league. So maybe by Steelers standards, not as good as the rest of the defense. So if there is a weak point in the defense, it's the pass.
Right.
But I don't think that that's a worry for the Ravens, just because I don't see them lighting it up in the pass game, unless Andrews just tears it up and Hollywood Brown shows what he could do last year. But
Dez Bryant has been activated.
That is right. Yeah, he made some plays last week, actually. So
the 32-year-old wonder.
Yeah, exactly. The big possession receiver. So we'll see. I mean, even if they do anything, it's I just don't see it being big plays. I don't see it at all. So Steelers all the way in this one for me. And then I would bet on the spread as well, 4.5.
Yeah. I think Lamar needs to there were some moments in that Patriots game where he could have just tucked and run, but I think it's in his head now. He's got the yips where he's like, I have to throw because all these people are talking about it.
Could be.
When there's like wide open pastures.
Yeah.
He's not taking advantage of it. Last year, he took advantage of it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot to ask for with Mark Andrews. Like,
yeah.
that's a big ask. This guy is like doing everything.
He is. He
Something's
is.
gonna have to click. Dobbins has COVID. Ingram has COVID.
Ingram. Yep.
Gus
Yeah.
Edwards is gonna have to step it up. I just like a divisional game,
Mm-hmm.
and I think guys step it up. It's gonna be this. This is probably the game of the week to watch.
Okay, big call there. Certainly, it's going to be the Sunday night game, so going to be a lot of eyes on him. But
Yep.
interesting that you say that about Lamar, because yeah, I mean, the season after MVP, there's going to be a lot of eyes on you. Now, he's not a big media guy, so you don't know his personality too much. He kind of seems more laid back, so I really don't know how much that's affecting him. But yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very good point. Maybe it is.
Yeah. The next game is not that exciting. It's the Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, the Adam Gases. Yeah, I don't know who would put money on the Jets in this game.
Jets fan, because they're 0-10, right? 0-9, 0-10.
0-10.
This is the time. I mean, if they are going to win, this would be kind of the matchup, maybe.
Tua is back. He's
Yeah,
he's
Tua's
he's back
Tua's
playing.
back. Yeah,
He got a little banged up. I mean, that was a tough. The Broncos played tough against him. I mean that it's hard to come to Denver and play here against the
Denver's got a
Broncos.
surprisingly good defense too.
Yeah.
I mean, better than what just the casual fan might think. Like they got some pieces. They play people tough.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially in Denver.
Yeah, when you're coming here and dealing with the altitude, I think
coming from Miami.
Coming from Miami, I think that's gonna benefit him.
Yeah.
I definitely think they're gonna cover. So any money that anybody puts on this game, you're not gonna make much. But I think you have to put it on the Dolphins. This is gonna be a huge win. Joe Flacco's playing. LaMichael P. Ryan is the running back.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that,
Frank Gore,
yeah, the third,
not enough to be dangerous, but to get you three yards if you need a first down.
Frank the Tank, baby.
Yeah, number 3 all time. Yeah,
number 3 all time. Jamison Crowder is practically their whole offense at this point.
Nah. I think that the tables have turned. It's Sims again. It's Denzel Mims now. Mims, it looks like at least the last 2 weeks you haven't seen much of Crowder. It's been all the Mims show.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if that's Joe Flacco. It might be Joe Flacco, or it may be the emergence of Mims. But I like Mims and where he's trending.
Yeah, Mims and Crowder, and then I think if you stop the run, I don't really think there's a shot. Like if they get the run game going with P. Ryan and Frank, this could be an upset. This could be a time for them to go 1-10. I definitely think. I mean,
you're picking the Dolphins, though, right?
I'm picking the Dolphins 21-7.
21-7. Okay. So the Dolphins, it's interesting. Tua's electric. He's electric. He's fun to watch. He's a rookie, right? But their offense just hasn't been clicking the last couple of weeks. I mean, if you really honed in on their games, it's you start seeing them score points. A lot of times their defense or their special teams that are giving them great opportunities or scoring touchdowns themselves. This defense is just so nasty. Xavier Howard, the cornerback has just been locked down. I think he's got 6 interceptions, most or tied for most in the NFL. And then they have this D lineman who took a couple of years to really develop. I forget where he started out, but his last name's Ogba, and he's number 91. So if you do tune in and watch that guy, I mean, he's just been terrorizing QBs. Yeah, Tua, honestly, like Tua's offense, not really Tua, but the Tua offense with him on the field just hasn't been clicking. No. That being said, I think that their defense and I think their special teams has enough to win. Honestly, maybe if Darnold was starting, I'd maybe pick the Jets. I'm certainly staying away from throwing my own money on this game.
Yeah.
And this is coming from someone who's bet Dolphins the last 3 weeks, lost last week, but I won the last 2 weeks before that. But I'm just going to stay away from the Dolphins, really see how this quarterback thing works out. If they pull them again, who knows, but I do think that the Dolphins are trending up and they're doing a lot of good things. And then Herndon scored a touchdown last week out of nowhere. I thought he was going to be legit this year.
Was that his first like catch of the year?
It might have been his first catch and his first touchdown.
Yeah.
But overall, the Jets are just a poorly run organization, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they came through with the upset, but it would still be a surprise. It would still be a surprise.
Oh yeah.
Just because I think the Dolphins defense is so legit. So I'm going to pick Dolphins. I don't have the total score, but I wouldn't be confident on betting the spread even. I wouldn't be surprised if they won by like 3 or 4 points.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think it might be close.
Yeah. Tua is gonna probably, this will be the game where he can use his legs a lot too.
Could
I
be,
think,
yeah.
Yeah. I think eventually he needs to. I mean, he's fresh into this. He's what, 4 weeks into this? So
Yeah.
we're yet to really see the emergence of Tua Tagovailoa.
I like watching him though. I always love watching lefty quarterbacks too, because you never see it. He did a little bootleg play action to the right, which was interesting as a lefty. And I don't know. It's just fun to watch.
It's tough. It's tough.
We haven't seen a legit lefty quarterback since Steve Young, I feel like. I mean, can you name one? A legit one? I mean, Michael Vick, I think he was lefty, right?
Michael Vick could throw the ball. Tim Tebow.
He was a lefty, right?
Yes. Michael Vick, Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Steve Young.
Steve Young. That's pretty much it. Steve Young is the best left-handed quarterback of all time, for sure.
Which is crazy because it's like in the MLB, there's just so many talented lefty pitchers. I mean, you practically, if you're teaching your kid how to play baseball and he has the slightest chance of maybe being a lefty, you're going to put the ball in his left hand,
yeah,
or the pen in his left hand.
Yeah.
Easier to pick people off, harder. Yeah. You're facing a lot of good lefty hitters, and it just comes at you different even when you're righty. So, yeah, Tim Tebow, Michael Vick.
Do you feel like left-handed quarterbacks get blindsided more?
They could, but then again, wouldn't. Yeah, I think they might because you go in and the blind side's supposed to be the left tackle. So what are you going to do? Are you just going to move that left tackle to the right side? That's interesting. I'm not sure.
I think we saw that a lot with Steve Young, man.
Yeah. I guess if he's like your franchise quarterback, you might want to make your money tackle the right tackle then.
We have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes, sir. All right, I'll go ahead and start this one off. It's going to be a fun game to watch. I'm certainly going to tune in, especially if it's on. I've been streaming a lot of the other games too, just to keep up on all the other games that aren't nationally televised. But the Raiders had such a tough loss against the Chiefs. I mean, they were so close. They played them so well. Derek Carr looked great. The offense was clicking. Josh Jacobs was running the ball real great. I still think he's a great running back. And he's starting to more so, he's starting to become a better receiving running back, which is super valuable in today's day, today's game. But yeah, so Raiders at Falcons. So it's in the
Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, Mercedes-Benz Dome. And Raiders are favored by 3, so -3 for the Raiders. The Falcons, they didn't look the greatest last week. But Julio was kind of a little bit banged up. And I think this is going to be honestly a very, very close game. I mean, Vegas is usually pretty on, and I think that they're very on point here. I'm going to pick the Raiders. I think that after that close Chiefs loss, they're going to come up fired up. The Falcons here's my situation here. And first of all, the Niners were interested in Takk McKinley. I don't know if you knew that, defensive end. And he'll be certainly a good addition. But yeah, Falcons ended up signing him free agent. So there's a little bit added depth in the defense there, but I think overall it's going to be a super high scoring game. They're both going to be just lighting it up, in my opinion. So let's see what the over is on this one. So Raiders at Atlanta. The over is 54. Okay.
Right.
So I'm certainly putting my money this week on the over there. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. I really do. And especially if the Raiders want to win, they're going to have to light it up as well. You may even see the Falcons come up, shoot up early, just like they normally do. And then it's going to be a game towards the end. I'm going to pick the Raiders right now, just because I think that they're solid, and I think that they have a more balanced offense. I think they can control the clock a little bit more. And then, their defense is terrible, but so is the Falcons. So I think it's just going to be a shootout, and I think the Raiders have a little bit more control, a little bit more poise there. And but honestly, this is the one game where I think that Julio is just such a key, because you've seen how they've played without Julio, and I don't think they've won a game without Julio. I may be incorrect, but they don't play nearly as good without him, because you see Calvin Ridley just get completely locked up then for whatever reason, Zacchaeus or whatever, engaged, kind of be implemented more. Yeah, Zacchaeus, who's pretty nice. Yeah. But I think my main factor in this game is going to be Julio. So if he's a go, I'm switching it to the Falcons, and I'm rolling with the Falcons on this one. But if he's not, I'm going to stick with my Raiders.
So this smells like a trap game.
You think?
This stinks of a trap game. It's just
even after a close loss, huh?
A deflating loss at home. Think about it. You go home. So when you lose at home like that, you have more time to think about it. I think when you lose on the road, you get on the plane. Let's regroup. Let's get back to it. All right, cool. They lost the game at home. They go home. The stadium is like 10 minutes away from most of those guys. They're thinking about it all week, and they're not worried about the Falcons at all. They're looking past the Falcons. And that was a game they should have won against KC. They probably should have won. And Derek Carr,
you just can't leave them a minute, I wouldn't blame the Raiders on that one. I mean, maybe their defense, but that is more Pat Mahomes. I mean, we saw it firsthand.
Yeah, I feel Derek Carr is probably the most poised quarterback right now, confidence-wise. Him and Pat Mahomes,
he's an all-time high right now. Yeah,
those are the two most confident quarterbacks in the league right now, playing in the same division. I just feel like when you lose a close game like that at home, and then you fly all the way across the country to Georgia, this is gonna sound crazy, but this is my lock of the week.
That's your lock of the week, huh?
This is my lock of the week. I feel like even if Julio's a no-go, Matt Ryan makes it work with these guys. With Zacchaeus, Ridley might not be a factor. That's okay. The running game might not be a factor. That's okay. But some other guy will step up. Some other guy we've never heard of is going to step up.
Or maybe Hurst, he didn't do anything last week. Maybe he bounces back, has a huge game.
Hayden Hurst looks like he's starting to gel with him a little bit.
Except for last week. I don't even think he got a catch last week.
I didn't see the last week. I'm sure. I mean, this is the most up-and-down team in the NFL.
Yeah, for Falcons. Sure.
Matt Ryan is a Venus flytrap. He's just sitting there waiting for like a fly to go in. Who's like, oh, they're not paying attention. Then he eats you up. Lock of the week, blowout, 34-7.
Blowout. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay.
Hey,
that is a claim right there.
If any team in the NFL can do it, it's the team that is the worst team. That's the Falcons. The Falcons are a team you put in a bottle and shake up, and you don't know what the hell you're going to get.
And they have a good enough offense not to get blown out, so they're going to be in the game no matter what.
There's weeks where Matt Ryan looks like the worst quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then there's weeks where he looks like the MVP from 2016.
Yeah, no, and it's tough. I like the Raiders' fact that they are balanced and they can run the ball,
Yeah.
and if they can milk that clock, I don't see that. I just don't see it being as much as an upset. But yeah, you never know. I mean, the Falcons could come out swinging at home where they normally do their dirty work. The dirty birds do the dirty work. Uh, so I like it. I mean, I obviously don't like it, but I like the fact that you're throwing it out there.
Hey, you got to be bold sometimes.
Yeah, lock of the week. Okay, cool.
The next game on the docket, Arizona Cardinals with Mr. Kyler Murray coming into the frozen tundra of Foxborough, Massachusetts, against the New England Patriots.
Cam Newton's
It's actually going to be sunny,
Patriots.
so
Yeah.
What do you got on this one?
This is an interesting game because I don't know how many games you've watched of Cardinals, but they're just so fun to watch. I mean, and I'm a Niners fan. Everyone's gonna do good in their division. It looks like so. I don't know. They're just fun to watch. Kyler Murray is electric. Last week, took a little step down because he was dealing with those shoulder issues. Did they win last week?
The Cardinals?
No, the
Patriots?
Cardinals. The Cardinals, sorry.
The Cardinals.
No, they lost to the Seahawks. Yeah. Yes. I actually put money on the Cardinals, but I honestly think his shoulder was hurting him. And I did it for a reason because that offense is so electric and the Seahawks defense is so bad that I was like, okay, great, they're going to eat him up. But I really do think that his shoulder was giving him a ton of issues. He got slammed early in the first.
Yeah.
And it was just, you could see him grimacing on the sideline, throwing the ball, trying to figure it out where it hurts, where it doesn't hurt, where he can get away with it. Obviously, the guy's a baller, so he's not going to come out of the game, but I think he certainly couldn't make the usual passes that he was used to making. New England, this would any other year be an absolute slam dunk for New England because at home around this time, even though it's not going to be as cold, they just eat during the fall and winter, late fall, early winter months in New England. Interesting fact here, because they're actually the dog in this game by 2.5 points. When do you think the last year was that they lost as a dog at home? Ooh. And it's 2020. Last year.
Not with Brady on the team. It had to have been.
Okay.
Was it? Oh, can you give me that hint?
It was with Brady.
It was with Brady.
But Brady's been with them for so long, so that encompasses a lot of time.
I would say 2008.
Even earlier, Andrew. It was 2004 was the last time they lost at home as a dog.
And they went on to win the Super Bowl that year, so.
Yeah. So, but interesting, 16 years.
Who was it against?
They weren't underdogs very much. In 2004, let's see, Patriots.
I'm trying to think. I think I could. Let me think. 2004 had to have been
October against.
Let me guess. Looking at 2004, either the Steelers.
It was the Steelers.
The Steelers, yeah.
Because they only lost 2 games, and they were favorites over the Dolphins. They lost against the Dolphins, but they always lose against the Dolphins. They don't always, but Dolphins they do pretty well. They do pretty well against them. But anyways, Steelers. They lost 20-34. They were 6-0 at the time.
Oh yeah, I mean you can't say the Patriots are the dog, and Bill Belichick's going to talk about it all week long against a rookie quarterback, I believe, right? Ben Roethlisberger was a rookie.
Yep.
I mean, come on.
Yep.
You're not winning that game.
Yep. 2004. But New England's game, they just don't move the ball fast enough. Average yards per completion for Cam is the I think he's ranked 30th in the league at 6.2 yards per completion. So you don't see him throw the ball deep. AZ is, the Cardinals are just too explosive. Now you're starting to see Christian Kirk emerge. It looks like they got a nice little tandem now with Chase Edmonds and Drake, because Drake's kind of, they're finding a role for him. Before it was like they were fighting who that starting role was going to be. And now they're truly a running back by committee, and they're utilizing them both. Right. So, I'm going to put my own money on the spread. I'm going to put my own money on the money line. It's Arizona all day for me.
Yeah. I don't see how you could go any other way. Like you said, Christian Kirk is emerging. You could pick Edmonds or Drake. I think they're both going to have big games like they have been having, especially in fantasy. Like they're just
I think they both got like 15 or 16 points PPR last week. So
pick either guy. DeAndre Hopkins is going to do his thing. Andy Isabella might do some shit.
Never know.
Kyler Murray was my pick for MVP to be in the beginning of the year. I can't sway from that at this point. I do like Damian Harris. I think he's an emerging star. Jacoby Myers, I think he's an emerging star. They're just, like you said, they don't move the ball fast enough. Like Cam will have motivated drives and then drives where he takes off.
Go like he'll go like 3 and out, like 4 drives in a row.
I feel like
three possessions in a row.
I feel like Belichick's not getting in his ass like he would with Brady.
Yeah, and I don't know why that is. I mean, everyone in the organization just loves the guy. I mean, his work ethic, everything off the field is just tremendous right now. Yeah. I think they're giving him a break because it's his first year in this offense. But yeah, you don't see it like nearly like it was Tom, but there was an expectation there, and I think those have been leveled out a little bit for Cam.
And like half their team decided to opt out. Like it's tough without having Hightower out there and trying to create turnovers.
Yeah.
And
and their defensive line is just so small. Like their pass defense is great, but you can run the ball on this team. You really can. I mean, you saw the Niners, we just shoved it down their throat and just power football, right? I mean, they'll make it look intimidating. They'll put like 9 guys in your face, but they're little guys, they'll throw like an extra safety, and they're small linebackers, and they're undersized, too slow freaking defensive linemen, and they run a 3-man front. So, they'll throw like 9 in front of you, but if you're not an intimidated team and you stick to the running game, which isn't Arizona, but I think pick your poison. I think they can do it both ways, and they'll get it done.
Yeah. I have this being a super blowout.
What's the score?
40-7 Cardinals.
40.
I mean, shit. 40's nothing for Kyler. He's the kind of guy that, like, against the Cowboys,
it'd have to be a big bounce back for sure, because they only put 21 against the Seahawks, and that was in Seattle. This one's in New England. But if his shoulders shoulders feeling better, he throws up 30 points at least. So that's not a super stretch.
Cam just takes games off after good games. Like the last game wasn't bad for him, even though they lost.
No, they beat the Jets last week. Oh wait, no, that was 2 weeks ago.
They lost.
My bad.
The Panthers.
Close game. Yeah, no, not against the Panthers. Who'd they lose to?
2 weeks ago, they beat the Ravens.
2 weeks ago, they beat the. Oh yeah. I was looking at week 9. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. You're right. Yeah, week 10, they beat the Ravens.
The monsoon beat the Ravens.
Yeah, terrible weather. And then last week, they ended up losing the game at the end of the game against the Texans. They just couldn't get that winning drive together. Yeah.
Yeah. I have this one as a blowout. Really not much to say. If you're going to put any money down, I mean, you could put it on the Pats because they're at home, but choose your poison.
Yeah, I mean, I'm putting my own money on Arizona. So if you're listening to this, throw it on Arizona. I think you'll be fine.
Yeah. So we have the Justin Herbert-led Los Angeles Chargers at the Josh Allen.
I like this game.
Buffalo Mafia Bills.
Give me 1 second though. You have a beer. I just finished my It's called, if for those of you who's watching, it's called The Last Call, and it's got gin in there. Even if you don't like gin, I made this for my girlfriend. She ended up liking it too. It's a sipper. It's strong, but it's got gin. It's got maraschino liqueur, and it's got chartreuse, which is this green drink right here. So people at home, they were probably watching me thinking I was sipping on apple martinis. Not the case. Not the case.
He has to clarify, okay?
Yes, I do. This chartreuse right here, it's I think it's elderflower liqueur. No, it's got
Elderberry?
no elderflower. But the thing is, it's got like 30 different flowers in it, and
Okay.
and it's a super unique super unique ingredients in it, like 30 different types of flowers and some other stuff in it. But this is actually created by monks in France, and only 2 monks in the world know know the ingredients, and they only pass it down right before death or unexpected death. So it's really cool stuff. Chartreuse, it's crazy, and it's got a really unique flavor.
So
but yeah,
somebody could kidnap those monks and
find out, and duplicate it. But they got that they got that stuff in a vault. I'm telling you, man.
Right.
I'm just gonna grab a quick beer real quick. All right.
Sounds good, man.
Appreciate it.
No worries. So
All
the
right.
Chargers at the Bills. I think I had the weather. It's actually nice. I think it's like 50 degrees. So it's
In
gonna be a nice day in
Buffalo?
Buffalo. Yeah.
Nice day in Buffalo. Not a sentence that you hear out loud very often.
So
All right.
I believe the Bills are 5.5 point favorites at home,
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
which most teams seem to be favorites against the Chargers. That's a tough team to bet on, but
They're a very good bad team too.
they are high octane offense. They
Very
have
good offense.
the rookie of the year, Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Who,
Well, it was going to be close up until Burrow, but now I think he's got it.
Clyde can't win it because running backs don't win it that much. Even though I think who won it last year? Wasn't it a running back?
Yeah. Wasn't it
so.
Josh Jacobs last year?
Yes, Josh Jacobs. Yeah. So this is going to be a high flying game.
Mm-hmm.
What's the over under? I think it's like 48 or something.
No, 48 would be real. Actually, I guess 48 someone close. It's 52.5, so 52 and a half.
Which is average.
Yeah.
I think that
now that the Bills are like identity is now a throwing team.
Yeah, I think Austin Eckler will be back, and he's going to be a decoy. Justin Jackson is probably going to get a lot of work too if he's playing. Austin Eckler, though, he's had extra time to recover. I think on a turf field, he's going to really do great. The weather's fine. He's a Colorado kid. He's used to it. Mm-hmm. The Chargers are going to definitely put up some points. Yeah, they're going to put up some points. The Bills are going to put up some points too. Josh Allen started off so hot, and now it seems like he's kind of just leveling out a little bit. But you never know with that guy. He can tuck it and run, or he can throw it down your throat. I think this is going to be a super close game. 28-27 Bills. I would put my money on the Chargers to cover since it's such a close game.
Okay. So you think the Bills only win by like a field goal or something? One.
I won.
Okay. And they are coming off a bye, it looks like, too.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know, man. That rest, especially in this type of year, is super valuable. Mm-hmm. So then coming back over that, I like it. I like the Chargers. They're actually a lot of fun to watch. Just their defense is just so bad. Their defense is so bad. Yeah, I mean, Herbert, like you said, rookie of the year, most likely. It was between him and Burrow. But Burrow, unfortunately, tore his MCL, ACL, so he's out. So it looks like the Herbert show. It's just so much fun to watch. And he cut his hair. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, you're gonna have to look it up on the internet. It's great.
We'll have to put it on the screen.
You'll have to put it on the screen because he looks like a little kid. he's just getting like, yeah, he was getting reamed over online for it. It's pretty great. But yeah, I think Buffalo will win. It's 5.5 point spread. I could see it being close, like you said, just because it looks like this Charger offense can really move the ball. Keenan Allen's having another Pro Bowl year. He's just crushing it. I really like the emergence of Kalen Balaj. I really do. I think he's dynamic. I think that he's got a chip on his shoulders. On his shoulder, he got cut by the Dolphins, I believe.
Yep.
And he's just been great. I mean, I picked him up in my fantasy league. I've started him 3 weeks in a row or 2 weeks in a row, and he scored like 15 plus points in the last 3 weeks. But the guy is just running with power. I mean, he's making all the smart plays. He's catching the ball. So whether or not Eckler comes back, I think bulk of everything will be Balaj. And if you see Justin Jackson comes back, I'm not sure. Do you know what the status is on that?
No, I don't. I haven't looked at him too much. I think he was questionable, but I could be wrong. He's been questionable quite a bit this year.
Yeah, so if he comes back, I could see a little bit of a committee, but I do like Balaj a lot, and he just kind of one of those players, at least this year, just jumps off the screen for me. But yeah, overall, I think Bills at home. Josh Allen, whether he's having a good game or a bad game, I think before the bye, I think he had a really good game. Let's see, week 10. It was a really good game against the Cardinals. The Cardinals just got that lucky, heave to the end zone. Right. But Josh Allen, started throwing the ball a little bit more. I mean, 2 touchdowns, 2 interception, whatever. I mean, I guess you could say that's just an average game, but he really wasn't, lighting it up as much, before that. But or at least before that, he had a great game, 415 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But before that, it was like a stalemate, especially if you owned him in a fantasy league. So the last 2 games are promising, throwing for 300 plus yards, at least 2 touchdowns. So I think he's 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in his last 2 games. I think he's starting to get his mojo back, and just in time for the playoffs right on the corner. So I think it's all Bills.
He has a chip on his shoulder too, because nobody looked at him in high school. Nobody looked at him in JUCO. He goes to Wyoming. Nobody cares about him, and now he's balling out. He's still got that chip.
I think so.
I like it. One of the most likable guys in the NFL too, Josh Allen.
Yep, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, me too. We have the Cleveland Brownies at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
What a game. What a game.
What a game. No Myles Garrett in this one. Their defense has been playing lights out. I don't think it's going to really affect them. The Jaguars have I think they have the worst defense in the NFL right now. I think they have the least amount of takeaways. I think they only have like 6 picks, which is like last in the NFL. Mike Glennon is starting.
Is he?
Mike Glennon is starting this game.
I thought they were rolling with that guy they've been rolling with the last couple of weeks.
Luton? No.
Yeah, Lutton.
Lutton. Yeah, I'm a glutton for Lutton. It's Mike Glennon, who got paid a shit ton of money a couple years ago for no reason.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that the Bears? Who gave him that contract?
The Buccaneers. Yeah.
The Bucks. Yeah. One of them. I think it was the Bucks. I think it was probably the Bucks.
I think it was the Bucks. He stepped in for Derek Carr when they went.
Not for Derek. David Carr. Oh no, he was on the Raiders. You're right. I think he's a journeyman. I think he's been on the Texans.
I'm sure he was there when David Carr was there. Not much interesting about this game. I love
they're the 30th ranked defense.
Okay, so they're pretty damn close.
Almost last, yeah.
Almost last.
Yeah.
That's probably the ideal landing spot for Trevor Lawrence. I would say he wants to play somewhere in the South. I would say that's probably the place he wants to play. I think the Jets just smells like
he really just doesn't. He really doesn't have a say though, right? I mean,
he doesn't.
I know some players complain about it, but You think he's just gonna not play if he gets drafted by the Jets? Like he was like,
Yep.
I'm not, if Jets draft me, like I'm not gonna play for them. That's what he said pretty much.
He has one more year of college, so he could say, if the
He
Jets
could opt
draft
out
me,
after the draft.
you can. Yes, you can. You can.
Oh,
Actually, no, you can't. If so, yeah, a lot of these guys play baseball,
maybe
and
he
that
sees where it lines up, and if the Jets are one, then
and he
he'll
goes
just
back.
opt out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's a place he wants to go. But the Jaguars, if he did go, that's the spot. If they get Fields or Lawrence, they have
Mm-hmm.
James Robinson, who's an emerging superstar in front of our eyes. I think he's averaging like 16 to 18 carries a game. He's getting a lot
Mm-hmm.
of usage.
Yeah.
DJ Chark was a Pro Bowler last year. He's had trouble kind of maintaining that. Chenault is coming up. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Keelan Cole might be that emerging
I
superstar
think
that
with
we're
the
seeing.
right quarterback, I think all of them look like great
Great.
receivers.
Yeah, their defense
Yeah.
is just putrid, and
Yeah.
they've been
Which is
in some
crazy
good
because just
games.
2 years ago it was like the best defense in the league, or 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one is not going to be a great game to watch. I think it might be pretty close just because of garbage time. I do
Okay.
have the Browns winning 24-20. Um, I I I just don't see it
No
happening.
Jags upset.
I
Jags upset.
I originally thought so, but I think Mike Glennon changes the whole equation. So if you're gonna put any money down, I mean, I don't want to go into that. Like this game just seems so blah to me. Baker Mayfield is somehow putting wins together
He
with a great
sucks.
defense.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he
mean,
sucks.
he's looking a lot better than he is.
Yeah, he just looks so average. He's just an average quarterback in the NFL. Average quarterback with more than average commercials.
Hey, he's a great commercial actor.
Yeah, he is. If he ever gets fired from the NFL, I'm sure he'll still find somewhere on the screen to be.
Hey, if he stars in a movie, I'm coming. I'm watching. I'm watching Baker. If your
Starring
career
Big.
fizzles out, I'm watching Fast and the Furious with Baker Mayfield.
I could see it. All right. Yeah, Browns favored by 7. Um, this one honestly looks like kind of a trap game to me almost, just because I think the Browns come in there all cocky and confident like the Browns normally do when they get the string of wins together or whatever. I think Baker is completely average. They don't have Myles Garrett. They don't have Denzel Ward this week either. But so I honestly do think it's going to be a close game. I don't feel comfortable betting on this.
Yeah.
Like you said, Robinson is a great running back. I think they could maybe control a little bit of the scrimmage line there and just run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe throw some screenplays to those athletic receivers, DJ Chark, Keelan Cole, definitely electric. You saw his kick. Was it a punt return or a kickoff return last week that he took to the house, which is pretty cool. But yeah, ultimately, I do think that the Browns have a very, very solid running game. And I think that that's just one of the best 1-2 punches in the league, if not the best.
It is the best.
With Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. They are just so good, especially Nick Chubb. I mean, dear God, he's hurdling guys. He can take it the full 99 yards, and then you got the Thunder, like the physical running back that Hunt is. I call him the donkey. I don't know why. I think because one of the pictures in my fantasy league, he kind of reminds me of Donkey from Shrek. And I'm just like, he's got those jacked
bro.
up teeth. I was
He
like, he's the
does.
donkey. Yeah,
He
he's the donkey.
does. Holy shit, he does.
I know.
This dude's neck is so big too. Like,
I know, ugly dude, but he's fun to watch run the ball. I mean, he really does bring that physicality and slows down those defenses. So I think it's just going to be too much for the Jags' piss poor defense, and Chubb and Hunt are going to win the game. And I think if it's close, I think the Jags could pull it off.
yeah.
But I could also see them blowing it out and just running it all over them. But I don't see Baker really having an impact in this game.
Do you think Kareem's going to be on the Browns next year?
That's a good call. I mean, good question. I think if they can score Hunt next year, I think that's a great job by the front office for the Browns, because
Yeah.
I think it's even more so this year. You're seeing it more than any other year. If you can keep two healthy, strong 1A, 1B running backs, and I think it would probably be straight up 1-2 running back, but on any other lineup, 1A, 1B, just because I think that Chubb is that talented of a running back. Then it's just so valuable. I mean, you see
Yeah.
it with any great team that likes to make running their focal point. They're going to have that second guy. I mean, look at how much better the Saints offense was when they had that 1-2 punch with
Ingram.
with Ingram. And I think he was really on the edge. I think he's really slowed down this year, age wise.
Mhm.
That, and they are making him a number one. But I think as a number two, that like when you have that 1-2 punch combo, and you see it even with the Cowboys too,
Yeah.
when they start implementing Pollard more into the offense. I mean, he's just electric. So I think that's a theme in this, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone snatched Hunt up just because of how
Yeah.
good he runs.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if he's not a number one on a team that really needs him, like the Jets or
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
somebody like that. It's
Yeah. Or the
it's in the
Dolphins.
cards. The
Yeah.
Dolphins, even the
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals might just say, "Hey, let's make this
Yeah.
happen."
Yep. Exactly.
The next game is probably the most boring game on the docket. It's the Giants at Bengals.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow's out, I think 21 months is reported now, which just it's that's devastating for
I know.
Bengals
He
fans.
looks so good, man. I mean, for such a bad offensive line, he looks so good.
Yeah, his footwork and his decision making it's super elite. Like his ability
Mm-hmm.
to know, like, okay, I got to get rid of it at this time. That's Tom Brady esque. That's Peyton Manning esque. He's definitely going to get bigger, thicker, and he's
And
just got a
with
football.
no running game either. I mean, seriously, like the guy's just like spread offense, empty backfield, and
Yeah,
still makes it work as a rookie. Like I've never
yeah.
seen it. I'm a big fan of Burrow. He's fun to watch. He's a great quarterback.
I'm a big fan too. I think it will be a close game. I think they're starting Allen over Finley.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that yeah, I mean the Giants not very fun to watch. Wayne Gallman kind of looks like he's holding things together at the moment. Daniel Jones
He
has
can
some good.
run.
Yeah, he can run.
Don't turn over the ball, man.
Danny Dimes has some good targets. Evan Ingram has not lived up to the hype this year.
Nah,
He's
not at
been probably
all.
the biggest disappointment in all fantasy
Him
football.
and Higby
And
too. You got to,
Higby,
yeah,
yeah. I
Higby. People were bought in on Higby.
I kind of saw that coming with
Me,
Everett though.
I saw it coming with Everett too. And it's just Higby. I mean, we watch him 2 times a year. I'm like, this guy's not special. He just came into a couple big games and finished out the season good last year. And people are like, oh, he's the man. It's like, no, there's so many targets, and Higby's not on the top of the list, not
He's
even near it.
he's Gary Barnage.
He's
throw
Gary
that
Barnage.
throw
He's
that
Gary.
name out the wherever you are, Gary Barnage. If you're selling insurance, like shout out to you. Like you had that one crazy ass year,
For
and
the
then you disappeared.
Browns.
Poof.
Yep, gone.
But anyway, I have the Bengals covering the spread. I have a 23-20 Giants victory. I think it's safe to bet on this one for the Bengals because both offenses are not very elite. The Bengals defense gives up huge leads like that Colts game was just disgusting. Me and Mike watched it. I think
Yeah.
they had like a 2 touchdown lead in the third quarter. The defense just blows it every time. So even
Mm-hmm.
with Danny Dimes, like they might have a 21-point lead, and Danny Dimes is gonna do it against that defense. Gio Bernard looks really good this year, surprisingly.
He's always
Um,
looked good, I feel like. I just
yeah,
don't think he's good enough to handle for full workload. But
yeah.
I Gennaro Bernard will always have a job in the NFL just because I think he's a good enough running back. I don't think he's a star,
Mm-mm.
but he does his job.
He needs to cut that damn mustache.
He looks like Mario, straight up Mario mustache.
Like, what the fuck are you doing to me? But
Giovanni and Mario.
yeah,
I think it's that Italian, you know.
yeah, there you
He's
go.
got he's probably got a little Italian in him.
So that's my pick. I got the Giants taking this one in Cincy.
Yeah.
It's just hard. It's hard to win after such an emotional loss of Burrow.
Yeah, and I
I
think the
don't see it.
competition is just substantially lower, and I think they're going to get truly exposed. So to piggyback off your points, pretty much the same. I mean, don't need to spend too much time on this game because I'm not going to watch it. Mixon's out on IR. I think Mixon's fun to watch. Honestly, once Burrow's back and they start solidifying the line, I think that offense can be really dynamic because they just have so many options and so many weapons. But not in this game, or not now, not in this game. Giants are very, very good on the road. They're actually 17-3 in the last 20 road games, but that's ETS against the spread. They're actually I think they're like 6-12 or something actual like winning record, but ATS, they're pretty good. They're just close in road games, even with competitors. They play well on the road. I think that they're the better team right now, more complete, which is crazy to say because it's the freaking Giants.
Yeah.
But against this Bengals depleted offense and bad defense, they're good on the road. They're going to take care of business.
Yeah, not much to say. This next game is probably the second biggest game of the week besides the Ravens and Steelers. It is the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts.
Knew you were going to say it.
Huge game, probably the best defense in the league with the Colts going against probably the best running team in the league, the Titans. I'll let you go.
Cool. Yeah, this is definitely going to be one that everyone should want to tune in for. The last game that they played, which was just 2 games ago, was super fun to watch. Looked like the Titans were going to run away with it. I actually put money on the Titans. Just because their offense, I think that they're doing a lot of good things. They're dynamic, especially when they can get their passing game going. And I had the Titans. I think they were winning by like 10 points or 2 touchdowns or something like that, and then just totally fell apart. The Colts have a super stout defense, arguably the best defense in the league. I think they're ranked 5, but real nasty. DeForest Buckner really completes that defensive line. Their secondary's been locked down. They have, I think, 3rd most interceptions with 12. It's just going to be a fun game to watch. With the Titans, they just have to control the clock, run the ball, keep running the ball. Sometimes their play calling gets a little stupid. They try to get cute with it. They try to use them sometimes they'll put them out on the field and not use them as a decoy. And then like on 3rd and shorts or something, when they're going to pass the ball, even on 3rd and short, they'll put in McNichols, and that they're going to pass the ball every single time. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And then they'll put in him, or they'll go into shotgun for 3rd down, and they'll put Derrick Henry next to him, and they won't even do a play action. They'll just have him out. It's like, if you have this guy who's one of the best athletes in the league, just a freak of nature.
Yeah.
You got to use that to your benefit. And I'm just like, run him the ball, like do what you got to do. Use him as a decoy. So I think that they can be a little smarter with their play calling. And I think that they need to, I don't even know who I picked in this game. I think this is one where in my notes, I think I was like, I'll save this till later because it was just so hard. And I think I never came back around. Tough game to pick, real tough game to pick. I think the Colts, with their running game, it looked like Naheem Hines was emerging, and then last week they just kept running the ball to Taylor every single time. I would like to see a little bit more Naheem Hines and just make Taylor the first second back, but really implement certain plays for Naheem Hines and just make that a focal point of your offense. I mean, the guy is just so freaking dynamic, so explosive. He can make big plays. Also, the emergence of Michael Pittman Jr., I think he's a future star in this league. oftentimes you do see that with receivers is the slow start. With some of the best receivers in the game, you see that
Right.
when in their rookie years, sometimes it takes them a full year to come around. But this guy, you're starting to see him in the offense, and he looks really good. But I honestly think that Titans, they really do have a chip on their shoulder. They have something to prove. This is the game for the division. The Titans won 5 of the last 6 games against the Colts. One of those being the last game they played, and I just don't see the Colts winning it back to back. So it's gonna be tight, but I'm picking the Titans.
Yeah, I agree with you. Frank Reich versus Mike Vrabel, 2 great football minds, 2 great defensive football minds, 2 offenses that can run the ball a lot, and the passing games are okay. But like you said, when the passing games get going, who knows what can happen? AJ Brown just willed his way into the fucking end zone with 8 guys on his back.
That was one of the favorite plays of the year. So if you guys tuning in did not watch it, pull up YouTube, pull up AJ Brown muscles his way or muscles touchdown for 6 yards. Literally, the guy had like all these DBs, 2, 3, and carried the last one like 3 yards to push it into the end zone.
Yeah, and I think a big thing in the NFL is momentum. When you walk it off like they did in overtime last week, they're going to carry that in to the Lucas Oil Stadium. It's going to be a great defensive struggle game. I could see Tannehill struggling. I could see Rivers struggling, but I could see Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor and Naheem Hines contributing a lot. And then the defense is just really taking over. I would put my money on the underdog to cover the Titans. I like the Titans. That's my pick to win. 19-16, just a classic football game.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going with.
Yep, I think it's going to be a smash mouth football game. It's going to be a very physical game. You might see some injuries.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of heavy collisions. I mean, even the Titans wide receivers are stout. I mean, people look at DK Metcalf. Yeah, he's huge. Yeah, he's fast. But people don't realize AJ Brown was cut from the same cloth, played at the same school at Ole Miss, and the guy is just a freak of nature. Like, they're one and the same. Like, AJ's a little bit slower. I think he's a way better. I think not way better, but I think he's a better route runner. He just needs to make the big catches in the big moments, and that's what we have yet to see from him.
Yeah, he's very inconsistent, but when he does have his big games, they're huge games. And I like Corey Davis as well.
He's starting to come around.
And Jonnu Smith is a star. He might be the sleepiest of all sleepers.
Yeah, he's for tight ends.
The Rip Van Winkle.
And you see it out on the field too. They forget to cover him. I can't tell you how many times he's just wide open. I'm like, are they not thinking about this guy at all? Like,
he's probably been on more benches than any guy in fantasy this year. For real.
Yeah, just lives there.
Yeah, the next game is a good game too. We have the Panthers at the Vikings. The Panthers, of course, are starting PJ Walker, who is going to be the MVP of the XFL.
I think that they might start Bridgewater.
He might come back. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's the starter. Yeah. I think they just announced it today.
Well,
I just typed in Bridgewater, and of course he's not a big enough star to be the first one. So Bridgewater Associates was first on the Google search.
if that's the case, we will see PJ Walker, because Bridgewater is coming back too early. Like, it's like, come on, dude. Like, you're trying to do too much, I feel like. But Minnesota is a 4-point favorite in this one at home. The wheels are just turning.
He's coming back. Bridgewater's the starter.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting match.
And what do you have the line as, Andrew?
The Vikings -4.
Okay. So a little money was dumping into the Panthers after that news, because it's a 3.5 line.
Okay.
So you are seeing some money come in for the Panthers.
Gotcha. I still like the Vikings. I got them winning 21-14. I think
Okay.
without McCaffrey, he's banged up quite a bit. Mike Davis has looked really good. They've lost a lot of close games, and the Vikings just have all the momentum of in the world. But they looks like they don't have Adam Thielen this week, which could.
Well, they lost last week, man. They
Did
lost.
they?
They lost against the Cowboys last week.
Oh, okay, that was it. Yeah, you're right. But still,
Yeah, they
like
had momentum going before that
to claw
for
back from
sure.
1-5 to where they are
Yeah,
now.
yeah. In general, they have momentum for
In
sure. They're
general, yeah,
looking.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got them winning 21-14.
Okay.
I would definitely put the money on the Vikings in this one to cover
3.5.
3.5. Yep.
Yep.
Actually, so yeah, I have them. I have them winning by 7. So
Okay. All right. So the Panthers, it was super cool seeing is it PJ Walker, right?
yep.
Super cool seeing from him. He got cut by like 11 different teams in the NFL. Played, I think, a little arena football, then played at the XFL and played really well in the XFL. Made a lot of good throws and a lot of bad throws this last week. But yeah, I mean, it's super good story to see him even playing on the field and playing pretty well. Regardless, I think it's Teddy's back. And what was cool is I actually have DJ Moore on my team, and you really saw the offense kind of open up under PJ. Now, I don't know what that says about Teddy, but I did see them push the ball down the field. There was more big plays with PJ Walker on the field. And they did shut out. Who did they shut out again?
Oh, the Panthers.
Yeah.
I don't know. We can see they shut out somebody.
Week 11 NFL. Come on. All right. So they shut out the Lions, okay? And I actually picked the Lions to win this week, but regardless, they looked good. They looked pretty balanced. But you really saw their air attack really come to fruition, and they actually used DJ Moore, which I think is an awesome talent that they have that they underutilize a lot of the times. And I actually do love this game because the Panthers, they do have a little bit of momentum there.
Mhm.
Mike Davis is playing pretty decent. Obviously, they want Christian McCaffrey back, and it's just awesome to see this game because Minnesota has been playing so well. Adam Thielen is out. Actually, he's questionable right now. So if he's a huge. Did you see that catch he made last
Yeah, that was
week?
the best catch of the year.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Just what was it? Just one-handed, just
One hand. Yep.
clean. Did
In the
not
corner.
move at all in the corner of the end
Corner.
zone.
Yeah.
Such, and that's a great story too. Adam Thielen,
Right.
practice squad,
Yeah.
Pro Bowler. But yeah, I mean, I don't like the Minnesota defense. I really don't. They have bad cornerbacks. They don't pressure the quarterback. I think that they're close to last in sacks and QB hurries. But the way that Kirk Cousins is coming around, the way that the running game's coming around, Dalvin
Right.
Cook actually healthy now for what looks like to be a continued full season, which is great. I know you're not a big fan of Dalvin Cook.
No, I am.
I think you're not a big fan of the injuries.
Exactly.
But kind of the nature of the position there.
Yep.
But when he is on the field, he's a huge factor. I think the emergence of Justin Jefferson this year, which he's kind of in contention for rookie of the year too.
Yeah.
You might not see him make like 10, 12 catches a game like last week, but maybe 3 or 4 catches for like 120 yards because he's just that deep guy. But super fun to watch him. I like watching this Minnesota team. And I think that the Minnesota Vikings are going to come out super pissed because they had so much going for them and they blew it in a close loss last week against the Cowboys. Then they're going to come out and pissed and they're going to make an example of these Panthers. And I don't think it's going to be close. I'm going to put my money on this, on the Minnesota Vikings. 3.5 point spread. I think that they win by 2 touchdowns, honestly.
The next game that we had on the schedule, the New Orleans Saints at the struggling Denver Broncos. Drew Lock looks like starts every drive with a pick.
Yeah.
Vic Fangio looks like he's lost total control of this team. The defense is playing okay. Bradley Chubb looks like the leader. They got some other guys, but it's hard to fill in for Von Miller and Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Taysom Hill is, man, I kind of like him as the heir apparent to Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see this as much of a contest at all. I wish I could, but I just see the Broncos sputtering out of control, and I have the Saints winning 36-3. Brandon McManus gets one field goal.
All right. Yeah, kind of same thing. One thing the Broncos have, they do have a solid defense, but the offense keeps them on the field too long. Too many 3-and-outs, too many interceptions by Drew Lock. Still in the learning curve. Hasn't hit the learning curve yet. And then Saints, yeah, Taysom Hill. I mean, he had some bad throws, but he also had a lot of good throws and good decision making. And then when you add that dual purpose running or quarterback that he is, it makes it that much better. What's really nice is that they're really hitting the stride with the running game with Kamara and gosh, what's his name again? Ex-Raider.
Oh, Latavius
Murray, yeah. So it's a good little 1-2 punch there. Michael Thomas looks like he really found a connection with Taysom Hill more than Drew Brees this year. So look for more of the same. Absolutely correct. The line 6.5. I think you're totally fine betting on that line, and not just because of the Saints offense and the Broncos lack of offense, but the Saints defense is really, really coming around and they're hot right now. So
Yeah.
I'm Saints all day with this one. This is another one of my locks. Be fine betting on Saints all day.
Yeah. Lattimore is going to shut down. At
Is
this
Lattimore
point,
back now?
I think he is. I could be wrong, but whoever the top who is it? Tim Patrick going to be the top receiver at this point, or Jerry Jeudy?
It says that he practiced. He had a full practice, so that's a good sign.
I think he'll be back out there. I love that Michael Thomas has found a connection because Drew Brees and him was brutal.
Yeah, I mean, granted, he was hurt most of it, but even when he was on the field, it was like 3 catches, 4 catches, 30 yards.
He's not even going to have a rib cage after all this is said and done. Drew Brees.
Oh, yeah.
You're just going to see like the flap of skin going in and out of his chest when he breathes. Like he's got no rib cage.
And then the sad part was if you were watching that Niners Saints game, that shouldn't even been a call because it was no head-to-head. It was just right. And I mean, he even tried to roll off on him. He got pushed into Drew Brees even more so. And so that's just the rules. And plus, that's Drew Brees getting Drew Brees calls.
It's probably so. Like, is this a Tom Brady situation that we're seeing evolve right now? Like, if Taysom Hill keeps winning and Brees comes back, do you say we're going to stick with the hot hand, or do you give the vet the job back?
How is that the Tom Brady situation?
With Drew Bledsoe. I'm talking like 20 years ago.
I was like, what? But yeah, I mean, who knows? I don't know if any of them could take over the organization if they like Taysom Hill in that like Lamar Jackson role, maybe they roll with it. I just don't think anyone, maybe including you, I'm not sure where you stand, but I don't think anyone was really thinking of Taysom Hill as like the next person. If anything, they were thinking a homeboy from Tampa Bay,
Yeah. You really think that the 30-30 man would be the heir apparent?
I think so. I mean, he's coming off the most touchdown passes and most passing yards last year. Granted, he had interception problems, but you'd think like with that much talent, like they could focus on that. But regardless, Taysom Hill's the guy. I don't have any issues with that. I think that they're going to roll.
I think so too. Here we go. This is the one that we have come to talk about. It's the Niners at the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say it now: the Rams look like the most disciplined team in football.
They look good.
They look like, I
They
mean,
look really good. Yeah.
Cooper Cup and Robert Woods look like the best receiving duo for sure.
And the defense is coming around. The
The
defense looks
defense,
really good.
yeah. Even
Um,
even when Aaron Donald was bottled up against Tampa, I don't even think he registered a sack. They still fucking shut him down.
yeah, they're
You know,
with Ramsey. That secondary is locked in,
yeah.
and they're just flying around the field. I mean, the Rams look good. Um, I'll just go ahead and go first on this. I mean, 6.5 point spread for the Rams at home.
Mm-hmm.
So really, it's around 3.5 point spread because home field gets 3 points. But you know, we're obviously impartial because we're Niners fans, but we always play these damn Rams. We play them tight. I mean, we're 1-0 this year.
Yeah.
Um, we don't have Jimmy back, but we're going to get Debo Samuel back. We're going to get Raheem Mostert back. Um, Trent Williams is going to be out, which
COVID.
is going to be tough.
Yeah.
COVID, and he's fought cancer before, so it's going to be a little bit
Tough.
higher risk. So
Yeah.
that's going to hurt a little bit. But I honestly think that this is going to be a really tight game, especially if we can hold the TOs, the
Yeah.
turnovers. Ultimately, it pains me to say this, but objectively, I'll probably pick the Rams to win. But I think it's going to be very close, and I think it's going to be within a 3 to 4 point range.
Yeah, I think the Niners will cover, and I think it will be close. 26-20 Rams. Yeah, but there is a silver lining in all of this. It's flatline for Zach time. I'll say it right now. It's flatline for Zach time. Zach Wilson
BYU.
looks like Josh Allen mixed with Matt Stafford. I'll say it now. I think there's too much hype with Trevor Lawrence, a little too much sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
because his backup DJ Uungalale came in and he looked fucking great too.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, I think, gets a little too much publicity too. Um, Zach Wilson, man, I know he's not playing against the best competition. This guy looks great, and
Yeah, and the fact
BYU
that they're just, I mean, it's not like they're playing bad competition and they're just winning. They're like demolishing every single team.
demolishing. He makes
Yeah.
great throws. He made a shovel pass against Houston. It's like a Patrick Mahomes no look. Like, the Niners, we talked about this. They're known for having two really great quarterbacks like Steve Young and Joe Montana, and letting one guy kind of circulate and the next guy steps up.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Garoppolo could be there 2 more years and Zach
Mm-hmm.
Wilson could be learning. That
Yeah.
could that could be playoff appearances, Super Bowl, and
Yeah.
then 2022, 2023 Zach Wilson time.
Yeah.
You know,
Like we were saying earlier, like I'm a big fan of Jimmy G. There's a lot of stuff that I don't like as well, but when he's healthy, I mean, you can't argue. I mean, the guy just wins ball games.
yeah.
He just wins freaking games, and you see it night and day with him on the field and with him off the field. Especially, I mean, we have only seen him like one game against the Cardinals early on in the season, the close game, week 1,
Mm-hmm.
where he had all his weapons, and that was without the emerging Brandon Ayuk.
Right.
So now that you add Brandon Ayuk, who's a star in the making, you have Debo, you have Raheem Mostert, you have Kittle. I mean, you have a healthy offensive line. I mean, it's a whole nother ballgame. But I do agree with the fact that you do take that shot, in the first round for Zach Wilson or whatever quarterback you want to be groomed under Jimmy G. And if he needs to come in earlier due to whatever the case may be, then we have that next man up, because clearly Beathard and Mullins is not the answer. And I thought Mullins was going to be. I didn't think
he was too. Yeah.
I thought he was, serviceable. I thought he would carry the season, but he gets rattled. You see it in his demeanor. You see it with everything, So
He doesn't read his progressions at all. I mean,
no, he
the
panics,
offensive
man.
line has let him down a lot too, but yeah, he panics quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot worse offensive lines. He's just not the quarterback that we thought, man. He's not good. But yeah, Rams win. 49ers make it close because we always play really, really well against the Rams. And don't be surprised if the 49ers upset them. If everything aligns, I mean, we even had a chance to beat the Saints. We just shot ourselves in the foot with turnovers. So it's just one of those games where the teams know each other very well. McVay is like, Shanahan 2.0, and it's going to be a lot of similarities out there, and it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a fun game to watch. So if it's not on your radar, I would certainly tune in because it's going to be a fun watch.
It's flatline for Zach time, guys.
Flatline for Zach.
Flatline for Zach time.
For Zach time. Yep. Oh, God.
Probably the third best game of the week. Kansas City at Tampa. Tampa looks out of sync. AB
every other week.
Yeah, I mean every other week for sure.
Yeah.
AB looks like he kind of messed up the feng shui of everything. I hate to say it, but it kind of looks like he did. Looks like Tom
looked like early on. It looked like he was he felt obligated to get him the ball. Yeah.
And that's kind of messing everything up. But I like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 32-31.
Woo.
Betting Tampa Bay to cover.
Why?
At home, I feel I just get the feeling, like you said, every other game kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe they have just a remarkable game. Maybe they've been game planning for this the past month.
Yeah, because everyone's always been questioning, is Tampa Bay legit? Because we haven't really. I mean, we saw them beat the freaking Packers and look great, and the defense looked great. And then the defense looked terrible the next game. So it really is every other game. So maybe this is that other game where they just show up against the Kansas City Chiefs and they utilize all their weapons. I do like the fact that Mike Evans is emerging again. They have so many options and they have such a good running game. I think they need to stick to the running game more, control the clock. Ronald Jones is emerging right now.
Yeah.
Feed him the rock. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's a well-balanced offense. And if you can control the clock on offense, then you can limit the mistakes on the defense. You know what I mean? And they will get exposed if they stay on the field because Pat Mahomes will come up and down.
So what's your pick?
I'm not betting against Pat Mahomes. I've lost way too much money betting against him that I just don't do it. I don't do it anymore. So KC minus, plus, whatever it is, I'm picking them to win.
Have they been plus? When was the last time?
I don't think they've been plus. I don't think they've been plus. But I'm just saying, I don't care what it is, man. Mahomes, best player on the field, any game. I watched him live, me, my brother, and my friend Keegan. Keegan. We drove out to Missouri and watched the Niners. That was the game that Jimmy G tore his ACL. But just watching this guy move real time and seeing how big he is, how effortlessly he throws the ball, his decision making, and seeing it live, I'm just like, I've never seen a quarterback like that in my life. And I'll never bet against him. And I think that Tampa Bay might be a little bit exposed, especially their defense. And I think that KC is going to keep rolling. And whether it be by an inch or a mile, I think KC gets the job done. Whether it is an inch or the mile, I'm not sure. I'm not confident enough to bet on the point spread, but money line, picking KC all day.
Gotcha. Yeah. This next one is not very competitive at all. It's Green Bay at Chicago.
No, the next two really aren't.
The next two, yeah.
Those are I literally have 4 locks.
Those are the locks for sure.
Yeah, I have Saints. I have what did I say? Minnesota. Maybe I said Minnesota. I'm not sure. I said Saints. I said another game, and then and then I picked the Packers for sure. I think the Packers are just gonna smack them. Doesn't matter who starts for the Bears. I mean, Mitch probably should start if he can, but I still think it doesn't matter. They're also missing Tariq Cohen, so it's just generic running game, bad passing game. Defensive is good. Special teams is great. Offense is terrible, and it's just not enough to beat this Packers team.
Bad play calling. Just Allen Robinson is like one of the only weapons. He got shut down a couple weeks ago. I don't know. They're just such a hard team to predict, but they're gonna
Yeah.
get their ass kicked. So
He's got like I don't even know, like a reverse fade or a mullet thing going where he's just got the patch of hair on the back. Have you seen that?
Robinson,
Yeah. Next time you see him
Let's-
without his hair on, look at it. So I have hair just on the top and then it fades down. He just has hair on the back of his head and then shaved everyone out everywhere else. Crazy
okay,
looking. Yep.
whatever works for you in Chicago. I mean,
So you're
you
not
have
going to
this.
want to tune into this game. I know it's a rivalry, Bears Packers, but this is going to be a snooze fest. Packers are gonna just do work. But you will see Allen Robinson on the sidelines, disappointed, and you'll see his lawn patch on the back of his head. It's gnarly.
Can't wait.
Oh yeah,
And Aaron Rodgers is going to put up huge numbers to MVS and Devontae.
I
And
just think the Bears are going to be on the field the whole time, so that's
yeah,
why. I think that if they had a good offense, I think it could be immobilized. I think that the defense is good enough to maintain, like to hold Aaron Rodgers. But once you get like 3 or 4 drives back to back to back, because that's what it's going to be, they're just going to be worn down by like end of the second quarter, and it's just going to be the lid's going to be popped right open, and Aaron Rodgers is going to pick them apart.
Yep, I got Green Bay with the money bet on GB and 42-17.
All right, sounds about right. I think we're on the same page.
And then the Monday night game is a joke.
Lock.
It's a joke, yeah. Seahawks at the Eagles. Carson Wentz might get benched for Jalen Hurts, which he probably should. He's a bust.
He's a bum right now. Yeah,
he's a bum.
It's kind of sad. He was exciting, like his first 3 years in the league looked great, but I think he just got so much. I think he just has been taking a beating,
Yeah,
and
he has.
now I think it's just affected with his head now too, and not having all the weapons he wanted up front in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
He's making bad decisions. He sucks.
I'm actually gonna put the money on the Eagles to cover.
No,
Yeah,
5 points, huh?
because like you said, the Seahawks defense sucks.
Yeah.
So I feel like it will be a close game.
Okay.
And they'll still be able to
and they're
cover.
playing for the division. It's not like they've given up. They're first in the division. 3-6-1.
3-6-1, yeah. 30-25 Seahawks.
Wow.
Russell Wilson had the MVP in his hands like he does every year and just lets it go, and Pat Mahomes is gonna win it.
I'm just wondering where these points are gonna come from Philly. Miles
Sanders.
Zach Ertz might be coming back, maybe.
No, Zach Ertz has officially lost his job to Goddard. I feel like.
Yeah, but they run those 2 double tight end sets.
Yeah.
So if he's back on the field, he's going to be back on the field,
I think there's going to be some turnovers. I think there's going to be some Miles Sanders big plays, and Wentz makes some miraculous plays sometimes
with his feet for sure.
Yeah, but then he'll like throw the ball at 3 defenders.
Yeah, no one around.
No one around. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? This is not North Dakota State. You're not playing for the Bison anymore, dude. You're playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Come on, dude.
It's just crazy that they're first in the division, but yeah, maybe that keeps them going. So you're picking the Eagles by a little bit. I'm picking the Seahawks by a lot.
Well, I picked the Seahawks to win.
Yeah, but by a little bit, right?
30-25.
I might have said the Eagles by a little bit. Yeah, you're picking Seattle by a little bit. What was the score? 35-31?
30-25.
30-25. Okay. Sorry. I thought you said Eagles were scoring 30 points. Yeah. I have to say right here, though, I was wrong about DK Metcalf. I thought he was just going to be a straight line guy, just run the go. And that was his only purpose of being on the field. Boy, was I wrong. I mean, he just totally exposes defenses. He's done it. He did it to us. He's done it to us once this year. I think he might have had some impact last year, maybe in one of the games. But the guy has just come about. He just manhandles cornerbacks, and he's too fast. He's like a tight end out there, like size wise.
Yeah.
So he's too big and strong for the cornerbacks,
Right.
too fast for the safeties, and the guy is seriously a menace out there. Especially us, at least myself, hating the Seahawks more than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to call it when I see it. I was definitely wrong about him. MVP type season for Russell. He started off real strong, starting to simmer out a little bit, but still, top 3 quarterback in the league. Jamal Adams has been playing real bad, cover for his position. He's actually been a really good pass rusher. He's been getting in the backfield a lot. But as far as coverage, he just hasn't been playing well. So maybe this is that game where he truly has an impact in the secondary, maybe get some interceptions, maybe force fumbles, and the defense maybe comes to shine a little bit. I mean, they held Cardinals to 21 last week, so I don't see them giving up more points to the Eagles. So I think Seattle's going to run away with it, and this is my lock. You can bet on the spread. You can bet on the money line, of course. But yeah, Seattle to cover the spread and to win.
There you go.
Yep.
Hear it here first. Like, damn, did I get that out?
That's how we need to start. That's how you need to start the podcast with that snippet. First. Oh yeah, that's week 12. That's a wrap. Week 12.
We got 6 weeks to go. We'll see what happens. We'll start tracking these, and this will be a fun time.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh yeah. Interesting year. So football is a nice break from all the other crazy stuff that's happening.
Yeah. Hey, good shit, man. Thanks for jumping on.
Of course.
DKP episode 5. Pick 'em.
Wow.